Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, this is Jake Jabarelli of Jabarelli.com. Just a bunch of referral links. Today's video is about Finalmente Global. Got another one of many programs on the web that advertises a large return. Basically comes down to 1% per day. So I have been testing it. A lot of people have been doing this as well, but I wanted to get a feel for myself before I really made more intro into the idea. I've already defamed other high yield investment programs out there, like I've mentioned before. I'm not going to mention them in this video because this is all about Finalmente. They don't guarantee as much as some others, and they do guarantee more than others I've seen. So, well, how am I doing? I guess that's kind of an update here, but I kind of want to talk about the math too. So, not quite done, won't be done until tomorrow, but I used, over here on the right hand side, I did, I believe it was the Uno plan. Yeah, Uno Classic is 7% return. So 107, they basically give you your interest plus your original investment. So it says a reason it says 107. It also looks prettier. People are like, wow, 107, that's a lot. No, it's your original investment back plus 7%. So you can see, as of right now, I've got 18 hours left to go, and then that will pay out. Now, what I want to talk about is either taking the interest or rolling the interest. Now, I plan on rolling the interest. Obviously, I'm not playing with a whole lot here. 0.002 the current market, because we're under 9,000 on Bitcoin right now, is right around like $18 US. And that's what I'm actually showing here in my HYIP charts. This is FMG. This is roughly the price. It fluctuates a lot, so it's hard to know. I'm just leaving it there. 0.002 is 1764. And I have this speculative chart. The chart kind of gives you an idea of how much will it be in how many weeks. I should probably just update this with that. So this is the number of weeks. So after 1 week, it should be this much, 0.00214, which comes out to, I actually have the value, do I? I have it on a month. I mean, it's going to be like $2. I guess I could just put that in here right now. So it's the current price times the output. Oh, that's showing the wrong value. There we go. 1887. So start with 1760. It's not actually starting with this much, but that's the reason I'm not showing this, because the price of Bitcoin changes so much. It's kind of pointless to do it this way. You really only want to look at it after you take the money out. After a month, where will the price of Bitcoin be? Can anyone tell me that? Because I'd love to know. So I'm going to deal only in coin, not in US dollar amount. So this here will be 7% more. It'll be 107% when I'm done, which at this is 0.00214. So 7%. I did 220, so it's going to be 14 instead of 07. But what I'm really looking at is long-term investment. Nobody's going to do this for a year, and I'll show you why. It's actually already on this page. But let's say we did compound for a quarter. That's 3 months, 90 days. That's this right here, 13 weeks, 1 quarter. So at current prices, that would be 1764 would be equal to 4251. But because we know the price of Bitcoin is going to change, I mean, it could be 3,500 in 90 days. It could be 12,000 in 90 days. I really don't know. So the only way I can guaranteedly know exactly what I'm going to be getting is by looking at this. This is the actual BTC chart. So this is how much I'll have. Yes, that could be this much, but if we change the price, let's put it down. Let's go lower. Let's say the price of Bitcoin goes down. How much will it come out with after 1 quarter? Well, 31. I originally put in 17, remember? Actually, when I originally did this, it was $18 US. And after 13 weeks, it comes to 31. That's a lot less than I was expecting, but that's because the price goes down. So maybe I'll leave it in until it goes back up after 6 months, or maybe just a couple more days. Well, actually, it has to be a week. Let's say a couple more weeks. But let's say at the end of 6 months, the value is 12,000 US dollars to one Bitcoin. That means I would have 140 for my original investment of, although I would have put it in at 20 or 18, it would have been effectively worth 24. So it's just easier to deal with this because even if you're not cashing out to US dollar, you're cashing out to rupees or cashing out to rubles or yen or something. Whatever the cash out amount, we only really care about what comes out of Bitcoin. So what I did was I said this extreme extreme projection into the future, and said what would I have after a year. But I think I should have started with more money. Let's go back down to the original price right now. Price is about that, and I said, what if I did three whole Bitcoin, which is quite a bit of cash, regardless of what the price is right now. 3 Bitcoins is worth 26,460 in US dollars. So at 1/4, it's still the same. It's still effectively the same amount of coin. I'd be getting, instead of 3 coin, I'd be getting 7.2 coins back. But what I really wanted to look at was what would it be like if we went out a year. Most of these high yield investment things don't last that long. Some of them do, but after a year's worth of time, they run out of influx of customers and they can't make out the payments. But let's speculate, because I really want to see where this is going, because it still sounds pretty insane to me when I talk about this out loud. Because in my head it sounds, oh, that'd be great. And if you tell people right on the face value of it, it sounds great. It's not really sustainable. That's the reason these things don't exist outside of Bitcoin right now. They can't be sustained. There's too much inflation. There's too much money needed to come in to have money go out. It's really just a pyramid scheme, which is technically illegal. But let's speculate. Let's go down here to 1 year out. That's 52 weeks. And where our profit or return amount on an original investment of 3 is 100 Bitcoin. How much is 100 Bitcoin? How much is 100? Current price right now, 100 Bitcoin. Let's highlight this so it's easier for me to find again. I actually have it up here. 1 year out, 100 Bitcoin at current prices is almost $1 million US dollars. That's showing 892,000, but rounding up, I realize no one's going to let you round up that high, but roughly $1 million US dollars. So if the price went down to like my speculative 6,500, 650,000 US dollars. It's still a lot of money. Let's say it went to 12,000 like I speculated earlier. Now 1.2 million. Nevertheless, it's a lot more than your original investment. Original investment currently 26,000, right? That's a lot more money. It's roughly 50 times this. So, actually it's more than 50 times that. It's because of compounding. But just for the fun of it, I speculated on what it would be if this continued on for 5 years, which is absolutely incredibly impossible. But what would it be? Just for fun. Millions, billions, trillions, quadrillions, pentillions. I don't even know what that number means. But it's more money than is on Earth, as far as I can tell. So it's not going to happen. It's just too much. It's too much compounding interest. It's impossible. So this example, all this out here is what I'm trying to point to as why this whole scheme is not sustainable and will not go on past. I think most people say high yield investment programs like this with Bitcoin tend to go about 4 months before the creator realizes they can't get away with it any longer and then just disappears. So it doesn't even mean if you know those people's names. Like in Finalmente Global, the guy who created it, he does videos. I don't know if it's every month or every couple of weeks or something, but you can see the videos of who he is. Now he lives in South Africa. I guess if you live in South Africa, then you could probably go find him. But most people aren't going to go down to South Africa to find him to get their, $100 or $100 worth of Bitcoin back. So if he decides to take all our money and run, what are we going to do about it? So what I'm basically getting at is this is a scheme or a scam or whatever you want to call it. It's not going to last. If it lasts a year, I'll be really impressed. Maybe it's already lasted a year and it just didn't have enough people involved in it. Of course, the whole goal of it is to get as many people involved as you possibly can, but eventually you run out of people in the world and you can't contribute more money. So these things tend to only last so long. I think last week he updated it to show that they had a total of 58 Bitcoins invested. If I actually put that down, how much is that? $500,000 US currently. It might be higher than that now, but if he decides to cut and run, there goes all that coin. And you have nothing to show for it because there's no legal precedent for this. Sure, you can try to sue him, but it'd probably be easier just to go trying to kill him than that. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying you're not going to get your money back. So if you can make money in a short run, great. But it is not sustainable. It is an incredible amount of coin, and it just can't go on forever. And I realize that by participating in this and doing it, I am effectively sacrificing money. But the reason I'm bringing this up and pointing it out this way is because it's important to try to recognize what a thing really is. In my previous comparison of earned interest rates video, I was trying to point out the reason that those companies offer the interest rates that they do. Like I said, the current banks in the United States are offering less than 1% because the national government isn't giving them very much in the first place, so they can barely offer anything to their customers. And then why is Gemini or BlockFi, why are they paying 5 to 10% interest? Well, that's because the fluctuations in Bitcoin are so great, you can get away with doing that. And of course, they want more people to invest. And as more people invest, they'll have to lower their interest rates because they won't be able to support those high numbers with all the people coming in. So even though BlockFi and Gemini and Coinbase might be paying high interest rates right now, it's because they don't have literally hundreds of millions of customers yet. And they can't afford to pay all that out. So as more customers come in, in a sense, they're legitimized pyramid schemes. Whereas even though I see that FMG or Finalmente Global is somewhat legitimate, if you go on their fact page, let's see here, fact page. All right, information about us. Nothing here. Oh, here we go. Here's some stuff. But this page is currently under construction. Why is it still under construction? What? They can't tell us more information about themselves? How about how it works? Oh, under construction. Why is that? Check back in 24 hours. I've been on the site for over a week. Where's the why is there not here? So yes, the video center here actually has real videos of this guy doing things, and all the people who are currently members and all the things that currently, yes, that has happened. But the thing that's so weird about this is the level of sketchiness to it. It's like, where is that information? Well, it's because this has high potential for failure, and that is reason it is a high yield investment and should otherwise be known as high risk investment program. So I think as I always say, only play with the money you're willing to lose. If it disappeared tomorrow, you wouldn't be disappointed. I think I'm cool with losing 0.02 Bitcoin tomorrow or for the next day. If he pays me, they pay me, great. But if they don't pay me and decided to skip out on me, and I can't do anything about it, oh well. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that sure, this is great, and I think that the reason I put this 3 in here for that is because it'd be really awesome to be able to actually come back and show not just a doubling of the value at about here, but I mean, it's 8. No, yeah, it pretty much doubles at 10 weeks. And in my opinion, that's as far as you'd go. If you could double your money in 10 weeks, that you can't even come close to that with any other standard investment. I shouldn't call them legitimate because I mean, what's the difference? One just happens to last longer. How quickly would it, or how long would it take me to double my money in BlockFi as a contrast? Let me just do the math on that really quickly in here. This is currently, well, it would be 8.6. What's that? No, let's just say double that money would be 100 divided by 8.6. So it would take me 12 years, 11 and a half years to double my whatever investment amount I put into BlockFi at 8.6%. But this place does it in 10 weeks. So there's a factor there. There's almost a 50 to 1 factor because it's doing it in weeks instead of in years. And that's how long it's going to last. You know, if a normal investment house lasted for 10 years, this place is going to last 10 weeks kind of thing. So or 10 months, I guess, is another way of looking at it. It's not going to last very long. Get your money in, get your money out, and go to the next quote-unquote scam. I don't mean to demean the people who are promoting FMG or any of these other things. I'm not trying to tell anybody at all is an idiot. But based on my experience and observations, these things cannot be supported. If it is real and is working, it's not going to work for long. And that's just my opinion. Nobody has to say that what I'm saying here is a fact. It's just what I've seen. So, yes, I'm participating. Yes, I am probably going to get money out of this. And I think I actually wanted to give an example here. This guy, Whale Miner, calls himself Tony when he announces himself at the beginning of his videos. He's a New Zealander, and you can see that he has actually been paid. Total plan estimated balance. Let's see here. Payments. He's received 0.2 Bitcoin, which in the current market is about $2,000 US. He's also contributed quite a bit to. Let's see here. Yes, his total number of plans here is basically slightly more than, let's say, $9,000 US. So he's put a lot of money into this. And he's definitely making it legitimate here by his example of showing us what he's done. And this video is very recent. I mean, I'm making this video on May 12th. His video was posted at the end of last month, not that long ago. So is it legit? It certainly seems so. Is he getting a return? Absolutely. Does he have a lot of money invested? Certainly he does, way more than I do. So I would say this example would say, yes, it does work. But how long does it work? Well, that remains to be seen. If Finalmente Global decides tomorrow, let's say, to up and disappear, they're taking his roughly Bitcoin with him. And maybe he has recourse, maybe he doesn't. He lives in New Zealand. These guys are in South Africa. That's pretty far away from the other side of the planet. Maybe he has the wherewithal to go get the money from them. But it's still just, I don't know. What's the recourse? At least if somebody steals money from you in an organized country, and you're in the same country as that person, you have some recourse to say, hey, you took my money without paying me back. Well, if the contract you signed says we're allowed to take your money at any time, you agreed to it. So, anyways, I just wanted to bring up the math and how the math basically says that this is ridiculous if it's going to go on too long. In the short run, it's possible, and they don't really seem to want you to do it, even if you look at their plans themselves. Let me just review that here. Go to a purchase plan and look at the plan I was doing here, Uno Classic. The idea seems to be not compound. If you're not compounding, then what you end up doing is you put the money in and you take that 7% out, and then you leave the original amount in. So the repurchase here is 9%. So if you're doing it that way instead, and just taking the interest off and leaving the original investment, then that actually is a little bit more sustainable, and it might be the reason this thing's been around for a while. So if I'm taking 7% off, let's do that really quick, just to make it make sense. 0.002 times 7%, right? Times the current value of Bitcoin. It's $1.25-ish. It's a little over $1 US. So if I left my 0.02 in and just took the interest off every single week, then every week, let's say 13, make 16. You know, that's almost equivalent to my original investment. So if I did that with any amount, let's say he used 1, right, times 0.07, right? Well, that's pretty obviously got to be 0.07 times 8820. That's $617. So he's putting up $8,820 US and getting $620-ish, rounding, every week, times 13 weeks. There's his original investment, close to it. It was actually more like 16 weeks, but so instead of the compounding amount, which I was showing was you double your money in roughly 10 weeks, he's going to double his money in roughly 16 weeks with just taking the interest out and not leaving the whole compounding amount in. And if you do that for a really, really long time, just taking out that, then I mean, just multiply by however long you think the place is going to be around. Let's say he was, scoring 7%, 0.07 Bitcoin every single week times a full year. That's 3.64. So it's still a 1% per day deal, but instead of compounding, it's coming out to a more reasonable amount of money and less likely to be impossible like this is showing in 5 years. So yeah, this video's already gone longer than I wanted to go, so I'm just gonna stop with that. I got another video coming up about Speedbit and yet another video coming up about a program called CryptoTab, which you probably already heard of because it's been around for 2 years. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I keep forgetting to do this. Like, subscribe. If you really like my work, please give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate my work. I've just recently passed 100 subs, and I feel like I'm actually making progress. So I really appreciate all this, especially those return customers. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching my videos, and I will see you again later.